All right, welcome back. We're going to start off hour number 2 here on the program. Had to take a little break there. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text. Hey, I talked for an hour straight, okay?
You didn't bring me a bottle of water, man.
Oh, I should have done
Dude.
that. Sorry. My
You're
bad.
killing me, Holmes. You're killing me.
My bad. I was just
You don't see me over here like a cactus, bro? Parched?
talking with the wife and the dogs, and,
Yeah, I heard that.
Yes.
I heard that.
That's what I had to do. So we were taking care of
Sneaky little critters.
we were taking care of life and all kinds of other things. Anyway, if you want to reach out to us on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. Now, the order of the draft is out after last night's game. The official order is Cincinnati has the number 1 pick in the draft. Washington has the number 2 pick in the draft. Strength of schedule, 498. Detroit is number 3 with the pick in the draft at a 506 strength of schedule, but they're 3-11-1. The Giants are 4th in the draft at 4-11 and a 471 strength of schedule. The Dolphins are 5th in the draft at 4-11 and a 492 strength of schedule. Jacksonville's 6th at 5-10 at 483 their strength of schedule. Chargers are 5-10. They've got a 510 strength of schedule. The Chargers went from having one of the best rosters in the NFL last year, and then they started. Remember the Verrett injury early in minicamp last year, and then it just kept going. Not last year, this year, earlier this year, because they're still not into next year, but early in the offseason. In one of their mini camps, they lost their starting corner, and then it started, and they kept losing players, and it took a toll on the Chargers this year. Plus, Phillip got old, and so it almost becomes a blessing in disguise for them at 7, because that's the team that I can see drafting Justin Herbert. Right? Like, I'm not a Herbert guy, and I hope Miami isn't either, but he's a West Coast kid. They're on the West Coast, all that kind of stuff. Chargers are the one team that I can actually see them drafting Herbert at that point, because I would figure that Burrow and Tua are now gone there, and Herbert goes at number 7 to the Chargers.
They actually had a horrible performance in the playoff game. They looked bad. Remember that?
Who, the Chargers?
They did nothing on offense.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, and Jacksonville's the other one, obviously. They need a quarterback. I doubt they're going to, give the reins to the porn star, but they may. Carolina, they may need a quarterback too, and they're 5-10 with a 548 strength of schedule. Arizona, 5-9-1, 531 strength of schedule. That they're not going to go for a quarterback. They got their guy in Kyler Murray. And the Jets and Adam Gase are number 10 in the draft right now with their 6-9 schedule and a 475 strength of schedule. There you go. About that, Miami has actually played a more difficult schedule than the Jets. But the Jets, of course, have 2 more wins than Miami, so that's why they are lower in the draft. So Miami is at number 5 in the draft. And when you start to talk about the top prospects in the draft, look, Joe Burrow obviously is number 1. He's going to be the top guy. Chase Young, we all know, is going to be number 2. And then do you look at Tua as your 3rd guy? If you do, does Tua go to 3? Does he go to 4? Does he last to Miami at 5? And like I told you earlier in the week on the podcast, over the weekend actually on this podcast, I told you that if they go for Tua early in that draft, they need to draft another quarterback after, in the 2nd or 3rd rounds. Jeffrey Okudah is the other guy from Ohio State. The cornerback, Tristan Wirfs, the offensive tackle from Iowa, is now going to be another guy. CeeDee Lamb, the Oklahoma wide receiver. Isaiah Simmons, the outside linebacker from Clemson. These are all the guys that are going to be in that area. Derek Brown, the Auburn defensive tackle. Jedrick Willis, the Alabama offensive tackle. All of these kind of guys. Andrew Thomas from Georgia is another guy that is going to be there. So there's a lot of guys that are going to be in that area of top 5. And the good thing is, here's where I don't want you to get all disappointed, Dolph fans. Okay? All these guys I mentioned can probably end up starting for Miami. And whether it's a cornerback, if you want to get Okudah and you want to put him opposite of X, then if you can't get, let's say you're not going to get Chase Young, right? But the pass rushers you do have, you want to make them better? Okay, then go get the shutdown corner and then put X and him outside, and then your pass rush immediately becomes better as it is. And you already have a guy that can cover tight ends in Eric Rowe, and you have Bobby McCain, who's a good slot guy. So all of a sudden now your secondary starts to take shape and really helps your front seven. So, okay, you can get Young now, right? So you're the Gross Matos kid from Penn State, another guy, a defensive end, and he's got size. That kid is 6'5", like 270. He's got the frame that you can add another 20, 30 pounds on it and make him an end. That's probably what you could do with a guy like that and put him as an end. Because in a 3-4 end, you can't be 260, 270. You've got to be somewhere in the 290s you would like. You'd like to have 290, 300. You'd like to be a big man so you can, hold the edge. So there are options for Miami. They don't have to reach for anything whatsoever. That's the beauty of having the 3 first-rounders. Now you can kind of play with it because you know what's going to happen in the draft. But as you all know, the draft order now, Miami is picking number 5. All right, let me tell you about Choice Mortgage Bank. And folks, state rates right now under 3.5%. Call Michael Kodsey right now. He'll pick up the phone right this second. 561-441-2730. Tell them that I sent you, and trust me, they're going to take care of you. And when you talk to Michael and you compare the human being, the service, that's what's going to separate him from everything else. I'm telling you, he's going to make a great deal for you, put your family in a much better place so you can pay your bills, give you great guidance, great advice. Call Michael Kodsey and tell him that Big O sent you. That's really important that you tell him that I sent you because he will take care of you. 561-441-2730. All right. Dolphins. Let's get into a little Dolphins talk here. Well, we did do a little Dolphins talk with the draft. But, yes?
Just 1 second. I've been noticing that the thing's been flickering in and out. Obviously, a lot of people at home, whatnot. But the Wi-Fi's coming back pretty quick. So you guys, if it goes away, hang in there.
I've seen
it's within seconds. It's within seconds.
It's been fine here. I haven't seen it.
No, over here on the control, it says we've lost it, but it's back within seconds, man. It's within seconds.
Devontae is top 10. I would agree with you there. If you think he's top 10. As somebody put here on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. And by the way, you can always reach out to us on the accidentlawfirm.com text line at 786-322-1105. One guy says, please stop with the Tua talk. It's turning into QAM and Omar Kelly clown show. Hey, man, we're going to talk about all the quarterbacks, and Tua is part of it, okay? And we certainly don't sound like QAM. So that, my friend, you are dead wrong on that. Steven Montez has been invited to the Senior Bowl. Raw but cannon arm. Yeah, I know. And we're going to be looking at Steven Montez. That's another guy. I know. I get to talk to some folks. I just want to see him personally. That's what I'm looking forward to. That over those east. Yeah, about 10. Because usually it's 3 on each side, east, west, and north and south, for at least 3. So yeah, I would say about 10 or more. That we'll get to see over the next 2 weeks, and then we can give you kind of an assessment. And remember, we plan on having a lot of those quarterbacks on the show, too. So we'll be able to talk to them. The Dolphins yesterday claimed Samanji Pirine off waivers from Cincinnati's practice squad, a 4th-round pick of the Redskins in 2017. This is a kid that's actually had some success. He's had a couple of decent days with the Washington Redskins. In fact, if you're a fantasy player, you might have picked up Samanji Pirine on a desperation for a week or something in the last couple of years since he came out in the draft. Now, this is obviously to get by, and I don't know if they want him for next year, and have another running back for training camp. But I'm not going to look at Samanji Perine like there's some potential of being a starter here at the moment. He's going to have to show me a lot before I even think that. But it's nothing, not a big move or anything along those lines. At least I don't expect it to be. Dolphins close out the season, obviously, on Sunday against the Patriots. I read Armando Salguero's story talking about Charles Harris and Taco Charlton not playing. And I thought it was an excellent article. I thought he made a lot of good points there, and I would agree with most of it. The only thing that I would say about it is that I'm not surprised by any of it. It's not like I needed to be enlightened on the fact that if Taco and Charles Harris, because it became a reference point for everybody because they were both healthy and they were both scratches. So Armando was, he illustrated how these guys have either played well and or not played well, and when they've actually had some impact the following week, they're inactive. And obviously both were inactive this past week. And the Sealer kid had a phenomenal day, and they played Trent Harris and all that stuff. And so when I saw those guys inactive, I never thought that they were trying to tank or they're trying to play two guys that are worse than them. No, I looked at it like an indictment on them. And do you know why? Because the precedent was already set with Josh Rosen. They already told you. They want to go young, but you also have to be competent. And you have to be able to do the job. And Armando pointed out that Taco apparently, after he had a good week, his head got a little big during the week and maybe wasn't working as hard as he should, wasn't preparing as much as he should, thinking that he had arrived. And one of the things that Armando pointed out in his article, that this coaching staff does not appreciate guys that are about themselves and not about the team. And by the way, I love that. That's the way it should be. You got to do what's best for the team in everything that you do in life. Got to do what's best for everyone overall. That's the right thing to do. In most situations, obviously, sometimes you do have to look out for yourself. But in this case, if that's when I saw that, I wasn't shocked. And when I read Armando's article, he did a great job of unearthing exactly some of the issues. But I really didn't need to know because I saw it with Rosen. And as much as I wanted Rosen to play, a lot of you out there wanted Rosen to play because we want to see what you have at Rosen. Well, they played him for a couple games. It was obviously extremely shaky. Kid didn't play well. He had his moments, but he didn't show you consistency. And then they needed to assess the entire team. And they wanted to make sure they gave their team the best chance to win. So they put Fitz out there, which made a lot of sense. And I didn't want Fitz at the beginning. I said, no, stick with Rosen. But I was wrong. You know, the bigger picture, what's best for the team was having Fitz out there. And when I saw that those two guys were benched, I said, all right, they've had their moments, but stats don't tell you the whole story. I try to tell people this all the time because there are people that will drive their entire talk shows or write their entire authority. To me, Pro Football Focus it's toy stats almost. They're not real because they're not accurate. So you grade out the same if you're playing left tackle and you've got J.J. Watt in front of you. If you were playing against a guy that is injured, so he wasn't at his best, you give him an outstanding grade anyway? And what about if there was a rotation on that side? How do you adjust a grade for that? What about if somebody missed a block and that's why the quarterback had an incomplete? Because the running back didn't pick up the block and it nicked the quarterback in the shoulder as he was throwing and the ball is off and it's incomplete. So you say, oh, bad pass? Is that how you do it at Pro Football Focus? Or did you actually look at the entire play? Are you sure the receiver was supposed to run a 10-yard route and not a 12-yard route? And that's why the ball fell short. Because the quarterback and the receiver had practiced on a 12-yard route all week, but guys like Chad Johnson felt like cutting off at 10 yards. I don't know. See, that to me is why stats don't tell you the whole story. And if you ever believe that stats will tell you the whole story, then you're a fool. Jimmy Johnson had a line that stats are for losers. And this happens to me all the time in discussions with people, because you sometimes have to just watch the games so you can actually see what's going on. Like, you'll watch and you'll see Ryan Tannehill's stats and they look good, but did you watch the game? Did you watch that they were like 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6-yard passes and the guys are taking them for 50, 60, 70 yards? It's not him leading somebody downfield. He does that once in a blue moon, once in a while. He threw a touchdown this past weekend. I literally I think he had like 6 seconds to throw the ball. I mean, he's not going to complete that pass. But those are things that you have to watch. But if you just watch the points and then the stats, and you think they're dominant stats, and they're really not that dominant. But that's fine. That's how it is. And he would do that in Miami sometimes. They would be losing, and then he'd pile up the stats towards the end, and then he'd end up with but Tannehill wasn't the problem. No, yeah, he is. That's why he didn't elevate against Houston and against the Saints the last 2 weeks, and they lost. And they'll lose this week against Texans because he can only facilitate. He can't elevate. And Taco and Charles Harris can't elevate. And they can't play consistent. I mean, Charles Harris is already a flat-out bust. It's a different kind of – with Parker, at least we said, wow, man, the dude is a sack of injuries. He can't stay healthy. That's killing him. And you figured, okay, with all those injuries, it was hurting Parker. He couldn't play. He couldn't perform at the level that he wanted, all that stuff. Is that the issue with Charles Harris? No, it's not. And Taco? Well, Taco didn't get a lot of playing time in Dallas. Now we're finding out why. Because he wasn't consistent enough. But here's the trick with Taco. Dude has 5 sacks and he can't be consistent. Can you imagine if he actually was consistent? He might have 8 or 9 sacks. He might have more tackles. Guess what? He might have more playing time. That would be amazing, right? More playing time because you're playing well. And that's where, when I read that article, it was nice to find out about some of the things that have gone on behind the scenes and what people are saying. And Armando did a great job, but I knew that there wasn't any controversy behind it. I knew that there was no tanking or anything weird. No, dude, you're not playing because that's how this coaching staff is. You're going to play if you earn the damn playing time. If you didn't earn the playing time, why the hell should we play you? Why should we give you any playing time? You're hurting us. I'd rather go find somebody else that might be able to contribute in another way. That's what they're saying. And Trent Harris and obviously the Sealer kid played an outstanding game. It'll be interesting to see if he does it again this week against New England. And New England needs this game badly. So they're going to be trying in this game. And I love that, by the way. I do. I think it's fantastic that the Patriots have everything on the line. It's another kind of test for the Miami Dolphins. And this is also really cool for you as a Dolphin fan and myself. Because normally in Week 17, with a veteran-laden team that has nothing to play for, you got guys that are going out there and they're just not into it because their vacations are already set. They're ready to go. They're ready to get the hell out. This team is so young. Everybody's fighting for a roster spot. Everybody wants to earn a spot next year on the team. So they're going to be busting their asses. I'm not telling you they're going to win. I'm just telling you you're going to get an effort. And I like that. And another opportunity to assess Dolphin players because the Patriots need the game. So they're going to be playing their asses off. So it's going to be a nice little litmus test for this team, like this past week when they blew a 23-point lead and still had to win it in overtime, and showing you a little character there.
Also, remember the Patriots probably had their best offensive performance
in
7 or 8 games, and that was against Buffalo. They got the running game going, which helped them with the play action. And, yeah, it's going to be a good test, man.
Yeah. So we get actually another treat from our Dolphins. Whatever. If they lose, they lose. I'm not worried about that. But we get to see guys grow again. We get to see Gesicki have another week to perform, and Christian Wilkins and Devontae Parker and Nick Needham and all these kind of guys that you're going to build on for next year. That's how you got to look at all of this. You don't have to worry about tanking. You don't have to worry about stupid little controversies that people are trying to create. Give me a break, dude. This is fun here. This is gonna be a nice test for the Dolphins to find out. Aren't you intrigued now, right, with the Sealer kid? 7 tackles, 3 solo, a sack. I think that's how it went. Let me see. 7 tackles, 3 solo, and a sack. Yes. Kid from Ferris State. Baltimore Ravens drafted him. So they must have seen something in the kid, right? They got a pretty good track record with. That was his last draft. This kid, I think it was last year because he was on the practice squad.
Baltimore knows a little something about defense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. So, 7th round pick, 238th overall for the Ravens. And look how he played yesterday. And there's always a couple of those guys around the league. Not everybody has one, but there's probably 2, 3, 4 guys, and that's what the Dolphins are trying to do. They're trying to turn over every rock that they can, claim as many people as they can, try them out as much as they can to see whatever they find. And if this kid goes out there on Sunday again and has a really good performance, you and I are going to feel a little better about him. And you're going to say, hey, maybe that's something you can build on for next year. Now, Sealer and Charlton are fighting for one of the last spots on the defensive end spot. It's pretty cool. And that's how you look at this game this week against the Patriots. There's a lot on the line for the Patriots, but there's also a lot on the line, believe it or not, for the Miami Dolphins for a lot of these players. And that's the exciting part. That's why I've enjoyed watching the development of this team. And then next year I'll be enjoying the next stage of this development. And I think we'll see better wins and we'll see more wins. If they won 4 this year, maybe they can get up to 6 or 7 next year. You're pretty cool. And obviously, it'll be a lot of fun to watch this go on.
6 or 7. Yeah. Do you know what kind of football coach we got, man?
Yeah, maybe 8. Yeah, who knows? His crazy ass can win 4 with nothing. You're right. Maybe they can get to 7 or 8. Who knows? I mean, that would be absolutely phenomenal if they're able to do that. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Hey, folks, if you're looking for a vehicle, go to Toyota of Hollywood and go see my guys out there, Steve Ostrov, Herbie Lopez, just some great people out there. They're going to take care of you. Trust me. They've got over 1,500 Toyotas in stock. They're open till midnight. They're a couple blocks south of that giant, beautiful guitar off the turnpike. And take it from somebody that drives a Camry XSE. Man, I love my new Camry. Whether you're looking for a Camry, a Corolla, a RAV4, an Avalon, they got a great selection out there. And they've got the model change year event going over right now. So get on down to 1841 North State Road 7 and tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you at Toyota of Hollywood.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodzie now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodzie can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Alrighty. Welcome back.
This is the Big O Show.
If you want to get in on the program, it's 786-322-1105. 786-322-1105. Remember the website, BigORadioshow.com. You can listen there. All the links are there every time Bill posts a show, an hour, a segment, an interview, a rant. It's there for you. You can also subscribe to our shows on all the platforms from iTunes and SoundCloud and Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. Breaking news there, also breaking sports news. We've got our YouTube channel embedded there. Not yet. It's not active yet. But soon you won't have to go to YouTube anymore. Just go to BigORadioshow.com and you'll be able to watch the show right from there. So enjoy that. That is good. As we grow every day, baby. Every day we grow. 300B is doing a great job with us growing and helping us out. The website looks just absolutely phenomenal. And remember, pass on the word to your friends. Tell them about us because you're not going to get this kind of talk anywhere else. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're at 587 right now, so we're getting closer and closer to our our mark. So we definitely need that in a big time way. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Big O Radio Show. Search for it there and subscribe and spread the word. Anybody that likes the Heat, the Dolphins, the Marlins, the Canes, the Panthers, Inter Miami, all of that for you here on the program. We've got it for you. Manny Navarro is going to join us at the top of the hour. We are a little over 20 minutes away from Manny Navarro joining us in our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. We'll get the latest on what's going on with the Canes and Manny Navarro. At 2 o'clock, Brody Miller is going to join us. And Brody, this will be the second time we have Brody on from The Athletic to talk a little LSU. We'll focus a lot on Joe Burrow with him because that's part of our feature that we're doing every day on the program, bringing on a different writer and somebody that's close to the football team and close to the different quarterbacks that are coming into the draft. And that way it gives you guys an opportunity to get a little bit more insight on some of these guys. Yesterday, Martin Houston joined us from Tuscaloosa and the Martin Houston Show. And Martin was really good on Tua and gave us a lot of good insight with Tua. And also Jalen Hurts, too. We kind of got a little double whammy there. We're still going to go to Oklahoma and get a beat writer to talk about Jalen Hurts. But I got to say, he was really good yesterday talking about Tua, and even added in a little Jalen Hurts because obviously he's been around Jalen Hurts. So we'll have Brody Miller at 2 o'clock, and then that's when we'll wrap it up here on the program after Brody, and we'll get it going. Marshawn Lynch signs with the Seattle Seahawks. How about that, huh? Marshawn Lynch.
What have they gone through? 3 backs?
Yes.
So got to get somebody.
Yeah. And so Marshawn's been hanging out, drinking shots with Raiders fans last week in their last game at the Coliseum. He cannot be really in football shape. But here's the thing about Marshawn Lynch. He is one of those crazy bastards that can come off a couch and maybe give you 50 yards on 16 carries or something. Look, I'm not expecting him to carry the ball 20 times for 144 yards. I'm not expecting beast mode. But if there are those kind of dudes, like I could see Zonka back in the day, retired for a year, sitting on the couch, hard-nosed, grizzled dude, Shula calls, "Hey, we lost a couple guys. You got a little bit of something left in you? Can you drag that gas tank over here?" And Zonk's like, "No problem, coach." And he goes in there and runs over a couple of people, hasn't played in a year.
You do know that he came to the Dolphins after the Giants, after the Pasarchik and everything.
No, I know that.
And I was at the game. It was a Monday night.
But he had no toe at that time.
Yeah, but you know what? They gave him the ball. It was inside the 2 or 3, 4 times. He got in the end zone.
I know.
We went nuts. It was an awesome moment.
No, I know. It's Zonka. Healthy Zonka, just like Marshawn is right now. There are few guys in the world, the aforementioned Moses Malone could probably not play basketball for a year back in the early 80s. Yo, Moses, listen, we had a bunch of injuries. I know you haven't played in a year, but can you suit up and help us out for a night or two?
You know who's the guy? Dave Winfield, 3 Sport.
There you go.
Yep.
Right, those kind of guys that are just freaks. You know what I mean? And Marshawn is not even at their level, the guys that I'm talking about, but he is tough guy freak. And that's where I just see Country Strong, and like you could just, Country Strong, right? It's the dude that's in your neighborhood, and he's just a big dude, and he doesn't do any weights, but he can lift half your house, whether you like it or not. I need to change the car tire. He'll lift the car. You don't need the jack. It's just.
He's the kind of guy that gets hit in the back of the head by a 2x4 and turns around and looks at the guy like, "What did you just do?"
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Did you watch that? About 2 months ago, he's at a charity event, right? And some guy comes out of nowhere and double kicks his ass in his back. Arnie goes, "What happened?" Like he turns around. The dude came running from one side of the court to the other, heaved his entire weight at him. I mean, he did
Kicked him. No, his body was parallel to the ground.
It was
Total
Hong
fly.
Kong Phooey.
Yeah.
It was hung. That. And the guy's just on the floor. Boom, bah. And like, Arnie, to me, I'm 53. I'm going to end up 80 feet out. Blown shoulders, ribs, whatever. That guy would have killed me. Arnie was like, "Did he dirty my back?" I just like nothing. That's all. He was just worried about maybe a footprint or something on his back. Or footprints, since there were 2. I mean, that's – and so Marshawn is that guy that could probably do it. You know what I mean? Now, here's the other thing that I'm also terrified for him. And he's also, like anybody else that's been out of football like this for a year, you could easily blow out your shoulder, your knee, and this could end really, really ugly for him also. But not a lot, but serviceable. A touchdown, short yardage, bulls in for a touchdown. It's Marshawn Lynch. Now, you might be interested in watching that game, Bill. Do you know why?
Well, besides that Seattle-San Fran game is one of the marquee games.
No. You might be interested in watching that specific game. Why?
Well, I like watching good football, but please share.
All right, there we go. You too. You might be interested in watching this game because somebody might end up getting the spotlight and you'll be happy to see it left over.
No, I do not.
He was selected in the 6th round, 204th overall.
Is he a Cane?
He has 8 rushes for 52 yards on the season, 6.5 yards per carry, but he does have a 29-yard run, and his name is Travis Homer. So Travis, tough guy Homer, because Travis is a tough little guy, dude. I saw him here at the U, and he has shown me some toughness in Seattle, playing special teams, doing a really nice job on special teams, which is where they use him more than anything else. But he's also the running back in Seattle. And they're not going to be able to give it to Marshawn every time because he's not in that kind of shape. So Travis Homer is going to get a spotlight this weekend. And like I told you, the latter part of this is that Marshawn may get injured here because his body may not be ready for this pounding and all of that. Travis Homer may be put front and center to be a guy that they need this week. And I am going to be really excited to watch that game just to see, not Marshawn Lynch, but I want to see Travis Homer and see if the young man can shine in a really key moment for the Seattle Seahawks. And that'll be really cool for us as Canes fans.
Well, they need the help at back, man.
I know.
Big time. And this is a
but
really
how cool
important
would
game.
it be for Travis Homer to be the guy that on when the weekend's done and they say, hey, one of the surprise players this weekend, they went and signed Marshawn Lynch, but little did they know that in their backfield they had Travis Homer. And because I think it's really cool as a Canes fan, and I hope he does get a spotlight, and I hope he shines, man. He's a good kid, and he did a nice job here for the University of Miami.
The fact that Marshawn is only 33.
Yeah.
I would have thought he was a little older.
Yeah, but backs once they hit 30, it's usually you're done.
Yes.
You're done. So, but it's 33. I told you he was taking shots with Raiders fans last week at Oakland Coliseum.
Well, he's supposed to be enjoying life, man.
No,
He's retired.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'm sure he's enjoying his Skittles too, but
right.
It's just he looked big too. I don't know if you saw the picture. He looked big.
Well, did you see the little shuttle run that they had the video of him doing?
Yeah.
His little fancy footwork?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked like he had a couple of pounds.
A little pudgy.
I don't blame him either. What's up, Bo? How much of a chance do you give my Niners on Sunday Night Football? Well, I give them a big chance. Why not, man? It's the Niners. Yeah, you got a shot. Niners are, they should be the favorites right now. We got to look at them as the favorites for the Super Bowl.
Road game, the fact that they went to New Orleans and beat New Orleans in New Orleans, that ain't an easy task.
No.
If you can win in New Orleans, you can win anywhere.
Yeah. No, San Fran can beat anybody. They definitely got a great chance. And Myron says also, Merry Christmas to all. Thank you, Myron. Nico says, do you think Ozzie Newsome will go down as the best general manager in modern era? Wow, that's a great question, man. I'm going to say he's second best in my book. Why? I'm going to go Bill Polian because the Bills went to 4 Super Bowls. He got Carolina to the Super Bowl with Jake Delhomme, the players that Scott Norwide went wide. Emilio Nunez, but hey, listen. There's a freeze, and it went back right away.
See, dude, it's been happening.
Yeah,
At least
I hadn't seen it at all, not one time. This is the first time I saw it.
With that chime in,
and it happened again now.
It's probably the fourth or fifth. Like I said, this is just like the beginning of the show, the publish to go. Man, there's a lot of people home today.
Probably.
And the kids and it's like, hey,
YouTube is
go
YouTube.
Get on this.
YouTube. Everybody uses YouTube, man. So that's why we kind of funneled everything to YouTube and do it here every day because it allows us to kind of control everything where everybody's on one service. Because we were doing it on Facebook and on Twitter and on Periscope, but then people were sending me messages on all platforms, and I can't be traveling to all platforms while I'm doing a show. So we just have our text line, we have our YouTube chat board, and that's it. We are going to add phone calls very soon. I'm working on it. Trust me. I am feverishly working on the streaming and the phone calls. We're going to do that. Art Thomas says, watched on the YouTube channel this morning. Great show, informative, and agree the Dolphins have surprised us this season. Thank you very much. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you responding on Twitter at Big O Show. We are very grateful for all of that. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. And don't forget, folks, if you're dealing right now with roof leaks, maybe you're dealing with water stains. If you see the water stains on your roof, on your walls, that could be Irma damage. And we've got less than 9 months now. The people at East Coast Public Adjusters, they represent you, not the insurance company. Tell them that Big O sent you. I promise you, they're going to take care of you. Don't wait till it's too late, man. Do it now. They're going to get you what you deserve so you can fix that home. Don't deal with the water stains. That leads to mold. And then you're breathing in all of that. Call East Coast Public Adjusters. 855-GET-ECPA.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Welcome aboard.
This is the Big O Show.
Hour number 3 of the program. It is on. We're going to get in contact now. We're going to talk to Manny Navarro from, of course, The Athletic. We'll get the latest on the Canes and our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. We love talking to Manny. We do it every week here on the show. And we'll get into it now, and we'll get the latest on what's going on with the Canes and with the legend that is Manny Navarro. And our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. I love it. And I see Bill is now with Manny right now on the phone. And we'll get to it right now. I'm just I'm doing a couple things at the same time. That's why.
Don't feel alone in that, buddy. We all are. Everybody.
Yes. I love it. All right, let's bring him aboard. And Manny Navarro, the legend, baby. Let's talk a little Canes football. You can follow him on Twitter, of course, at Manny_Navarro, and catch his work there at The Athletic. It's our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. Manny, how you doing, my friend?
Doing great, we've gone out, we've seen the pigs, we've decided who's going to start for us tonight on Noche Buena, and we're ready to go.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Yes, that's going to
put them in a box.
Yes, yes. A little lechon today, I would imagine, right?
A little lechon, a little bit of everything, man. Coquito, right? Everybody's gonna have a little coquito at the end of the night. Mm-hmm. You gotta have some flan. You gotta have some black beans and rice. You know, I mean, it's the full Hialeah Noche Buena, man.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, exactly. I can't wait for the food tonight, baby. I'm looking forward to it. I got the old lady back in town. She was out of town for Thanksgiving and failed me. So now she's back and cooking. So now I get I actually requested turkey because we're going to have some lechon, but I needed to get, I had turkey on Thanksgiving, but it just wasn't up to snuff, bro.
Right,
so I got to kind of make up for it. So I told her, you got to make turkey too today. So she's cooking double, which I appreciated immensely, which is absolutely awesome.
You're very fortunate, man. You got a killer mother-in-law.
Well, yeah, bro. But, hey, I work my ass off. I need to be rewarded for a little bit of work here, bro. I work my ass off, bro. Come on.
You hustle and they make a good meal. There's a good trade-off.
That's it. That's it. That's what it's all about, man. We try to hustle. All right, so is Trajan Bandy hustling his ass out of here? What's going on with Trajan?
Well, I mean, that's been the rumor now for a couple of weeks that he was going to announce that, that he was going to go pro. But, I talked to Mike Rumpf on Wednesday of last week when they had signing day, and basically he said that he was going to have a conversation with him after the bowl game. I know Bandy and Coach Rumpf are very, very close, and I know that if Coach Rumpf could get through to him and convince him to come back to school, he will. But it sounds to me like it's a financial family type situation, and Trajan Bandy knows that he may not be going very high in the draft, if at all, and I guess it's one of those deals where he wants to leave, but we'll see if he gets talked back into coming back.
Is his financial situation in that dire need that he has to leave, or is it, because this is what I see and I sense, is more an indictment on Manny Diaz, that you have not created the kind of environment that people want to stay so they can better themselves or give them a chance to get better, because maybe he doesn't believe that by coming back he's going to better his draft status. And that's kind of scary if that's really his thinking and if that's the reality inside that building.
Well, I think without question some of these guys feel like, what am I going to come back and improve? What am I going to come back and make better? Look, it's very, when you lose 16 out of your last 29 games, which, by the way, that's what they've done. They've lost 16 out of the last 29 games since they were 10-0. It's very, deflating. It's very sort of like, what do I get excited about? Those guys, the Pinkneys, the Shaqs, all of them didn't come back to go 6-6 this season and to play the Independence Bowl. That's not what they got excited and jacked up about. And I think Trajan Bandy's gone through enough losing where, if you're him, you put yourself in issues. Why are you going to come back? Especially if you're 5'9", 180 pounds. He's not going to grow anymore, right? He's not going to grow an extra 1.5 inches for the next year. Size-wise, he's going to be the same guy. So, okay, he comes back and he, I don't know, is all ACC first team. Oh, as I know, is that really going to change where he gets drafted? I mean, you can't sort of teach height for a cornerback, right?
Right, yeah.
You have your deficiency. So, I think between the financial situation, the family situation, and then, also where the state of the program is. I mean, if he was coming back because they were in position to win an ACC championship or in a position to win a national title, go to the college football playoff, I think absolutely there would be more guys interested in coming back to school. But that's what happens. Nobody wants to come and be a part of a losing program, whether you're a recruit or you're a returning junior senior.
So what's your gut tell you? He's gone?
I mean, that's what I think is going to happen. I mean, we've been hearing it for weeks that's going to be the case. But again, he has a very close relationship with Mike Rumph. Mike Rumph is still the cornerbacks coach after the bowl game, which I think he will be. Then I think Mike Rumph is probably going to try to convince to come back. But again, Mike Rumph is an athlete, he's a former athlete, so maybe he's smart enough to say, hey, man, you know what? Do what's best for you. In the end, they do have to at least try to do what's in the best interest of these kids. And obviously they have their own jobs to worry about. Mike Rumph has his own job to worry about, the success of his team to worry about. But at the same time, too, as a former athlete, I think there's a different bond between assistant coaches who are athletes than guys who are just coaches. So I think he'd probably advise him to leave.
Does that kid realize that he's probably not even going to be taken in the 6th or 7th rounds? He probably will be undrafted when it's all said and done because of there isn't enough on tape. There isn't enough proof that he can play at the next level.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's part of what I've heard is that he's aware that he may not go very high. Now, you got to remember there's ego that goes into this too. And all of these juniors, they think that they're going to go to, Miami's football camp in front of the pros, the scouting combine, and play really, really, really well. They all think that they're going to run the fast 40 if I just get myself in shape. So from a psychological standpoint, for a lot of these guys, hey, you know what? I'm undervalued, but it's all about the second contract. If I play my way, if I go into the 5th or 6th round, I get some money in my pocket, and I can earn a roster spot. So that I can play the second contract.
Manny, you sound a little distant, my brother. I don't know if you can get. I don't know if you adjust a little bit. There we go.
That's better. Okay.
Yes.
So what I was going to say was, I think the psychology of it is there's a lot of ego that goes into this with the kids. They think they're going to run a fast 40. They think that they're going to do well, in Miami's pro day event, and that they're going to raise their draft stock. And then even still, I think there's the mentality of, I'm playing for my second contract anyway. I just need to get in the league, make some money. It's a different mentality now than what it used to be. Before, guys cared about what round they go into. I think a lot of kids nowadays, with the parents and the family members and friends they have around them, they're just like, hey, man, you're good enough to play. Look at Tom Brady. He was, one of the last picks in the draft. Look at him now. Look at this guy. Look at that guy. They all look for examples of guys who were drafted low and ended up becoming studs. So I don't think draft position matters to guys as much as we think it should.
Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. All right, Manny, you look at the recruiting class for the Canes. What do you like? What don't you like now that you've been able to kind of assess it all?
Well, I like the quarterback position. I like Tyler Van Dyke a whole lot. I went up and met the kid, very mature kid, very, very much a leader, very much a guy who, to me represents what you want in a quarterback. I think, he's handpicked by Dan Enos. Dan Enos really likes the guy, and I think he's probably built more to run his system. I like what they did at running back. I thought the two guys that they picked up were very, very good potential pro-type prospects. Jalen Rivers, the offensive tackle, who to me, he's a guy who could probably play the right side more than the left side, but still, I mean, you don't have many real natural tackles on this team. He's a guy who has the body at 6'6", 330 pounds to play offensive tackle, the speed, the movement. He played against an elite pass rusher every day in practice in high school against Chance Williams, who also was a part of this recruiting class. So to me, he's a kid that can probably come in, plug and play, that Jalen Rivers kid. Put him in at right tackle, you kick DJ Scaife inside, and that instantly makes your offensive line a lot better and deeper. And I like what they did at receiver. Some of those guys, Xavier Restrepo, I think is going to be a heck of a player. I kind of look at him as a Braxton Berrios part 2. As slot receiver, punt return guy, very smart, very good leadership skills. Look, they got 10 four-star guys in this class, and I would say of those 10 guys that have the 4-star rating, I'd say 7 or 8 in my mind are legitimate, solid, worth, those type of rankings players. And guys that I've seen in person that I said, you know what, those are good players. I thought this was a good recruiting class for many years. I did. I thought, I know people are disappointed. Hey, why didn't you get, more local guys? It's hard. None of the local kids have grown up in this city knowing that the University of Miami won. They just all they have are those Billy Corbin movies. They've never seen the program win. It's those movies on ESPN. And so Manny Diaz is facing an uphill battle in that regard. And I think it's been important for him to go out of state to fill some needs. And I think he's done that on the offensive line. I think he's going to continue to do that. And I think other positions, the quarterback position, to be honest with God, the truth is there's not many good quarterbacks that come out of the state of Florida. There's just not. And so, they went into the New England area. They got a good quarterback from that area. Running backs, receivers, DBs, that's what South Florida really produces, And I think they addressed some of those needs. They got some solid kids from this area. Maybe not the best ones, maybe not the guys with the most hype, but they certainly got guys that I think want to be Hurricanes. And if they're willing to come to the program when it's 6-6, I'm not worried about them jumping in the transfer portal, to be honest with you.
Manny Navarro, of course, from The Athletic, joining us here on the program, and he does it every week at this time, Canes fans, on Tuesdays. You can catch Manny here and get the latest on what's going on with the Canes football team. All right, so Manny says he's not done with this recruiting class. What are you hearing? Are there some stragglers out there that they're going to be able to bring in?
Yeah, I think so. I think the offensive line, like I mentioned before, they signed 2 kids in this class. One of them is sort of a project kid in Washington. I think they're going to sign another kid from Georgia or South Carolina. It's kind of the area you go now to get offensive linemen that aren't extremely highly rated, but solid guys. You got Ja'Kai Clark, who wasn't very highly rated. He was a starter for you this year as a true freshman. So I think they're going to the right areas to find offensive linemen now. And I would expect they'll get 1 or 2 linemen. And then DB, they sort of finished 1 cornerback short. They only got 1 true cornerback of Marcus Clark in this class, so I think they're going to make a push for some uncommitted guys. They've got Avante Williams, the kid who's the cousin of Lorenzo Lingard, who didn't sign. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to bring him in or not, but I think there's a possibility of that. So we'll see. I mean, they've got 8 scholarships. I think they're going to use some. I think you'll see a grad transfer come in at receiver. I think if I see a grad transfer come in at linebacker, because it doesn't hurt, right, to add another experienced guy who's played a lot. With Zach McLeod, he's the one experienced guy you've got coming back. So I could see them adding a couple grad transfers, but I think for the most part it's offensive line, cornerback. That's kind of their focus here up until February.
What are you hearing on the coaching side? Any changes?
Not yet. It's interesting. Obviously, they wanted to get through signing day. They wanted to get through the bowl game. With the coaching clinic and all that in January, or when they go out there for the Under Armour game and they're whenever the coaching clinic takes place out there in San Antonio, there's always guys who jump, right, who latch on with another coach. There's still some head coaching positions I think that need to be filled, and guys that are going to be getting fired or deciding to go somewhere else. So there's going to be movement on the coaching carousel a little bit. And so there'll be movement. I think what you'll see here, I don't know that Manny Diaz is going to come out and call it a firing, right? Because then you admit to making a mistake your first year with your hiring. So I could see a guy taking a job somewhere else and Miami bringing in maybe a new wide receivers coach. I don't know. It just sort of depends, on who ends up deciding to leave or not. Coach Stubblefield has been, as I said before, I think he's had 12 different jobs in 13 years with different schools. So he's the kind of guy that, to me, I could see leaving. But you never know. You never know what's going to happen. In the end, I don't think Manny's going to come out and fire guys. I think that would have happened already.
Interesting. Is that the right move in your eyes?
Keeping the staff together?
Yes.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, man. To me, if you're really going to judge a head coach, you got to give him at least 2.5, 3 years to really recruit his type of players, implement his system. I think the way we all look at Manny Diaz, because he was on the previous staff of Mark Richt, nobody wants to give him the time. And I think a lot of Miami fans look at Florida State and they say, well, look what they just did with their head coach. They fired him less than 2 years on the job. That's not really a formula for success. You know, if Manny Diaz doesn't turn out to be the guy, he doesn't turn out to be the guy. And you fire him, but getting behind as far as money and how much you owe a guy, and he's trying to fight his contract. He's got 4 years left on that deal. You know, I don't know what the exact amount is that he's still owed after the season, but, you know, Miami isn't the type of university that's going to go around, you know, paying off coaches with 4 years left. You know, they were very fortunate that Mark Richt, you know, was willing to leave money on the table and not fight for whatever was left on his contract. So, in the end, you know, I think Manny's going to keep his staff together because, you know, if he starts making changes now, it's admitting that he made mistakes. It's not a good reflection on him. So I think he's going to try to stick with his guys, give them another year, and then potentially make changes next year if nothing improves. And maybe you fire a guy in the middle of the season. If the offense is still crap in the middle of next season and the quarterback is still an issue and you haven't resolved those issues, then maybe Manny makes mid-season moves. I don't know. But I think right now, my impression of Manny and the type of guy he is, I think he's going to stick with his guys. You know, he didn't make many changes to his defensive staff when he was defensive coordinator here. It was the defensive line coach who would leave for a better job in the NFL. It's kind of the way things worked. It wasn't like he was firing guys. There were rumors for a long time that he was going to fire Mike Rumpf because he wasn't recruiting the cornerback position well. Manny isn't a guy who just gets rid of guys. You know, to me, I've never seen him like that. Even his assistants at other places kind of keep the same group around him. So I think he's going to stick with his staff and make changes next season if it's necessary.
Interesting. Well, what can I tell you? I look at the offense, and that's the one that I kind of question. But I think their thinking is probably more about the quarterback, right? And if they get the right quarterback, the offense will start to look a lot different. And you like Van Dyke, so maybe that's what they're hoping for because they inherited these guys. This would be their guy, correct?
No doubt. They didn't recruit Jaron Williams. They didn't recruit Nicholas. You know, Dan Enos came in January. He didn't have a chance to really recruit anybody. Peyton Matoka was just kind of a guy that they brought at the end of the class because you want to have a guy sort of groomed and waiting in the wings, right? And Peyton Matoka is a guy that's probably going to be a backup most of his career, maybe a starter by the time he's a senior. So, to me, you know, Tyler Van Dyke's the highly touted recruit. He's a guy who comes from a good program, a winning program. He's a winner, won state championships in both baseball and football. And, you know, when we sat down with Dan Enos last week, you know, he talked about just how much they need sort of that mentality, you know, a guy who's going to work hard. And, you know, anytime an offensive coordinator starts talking about things like that, we need a guy who's going to put in all the extra effort and be a good leader. To me, he's speaking in code about the guys that he has on the roster right now, you know. And so I took it as, well, Jaron Williams just isn't doing the things that a starting quarterback is supposed to do for Miami. And clearly it showed in his last two games, his last two performances against two bad teams. And so in the end, I think they feel like if they get the right quarterback, it's going to mask a lot of the issues that they have. And I think they also feel like, hey, you know what? The offensive line is going to get better. Can't get much worse, right? So it is going to get better. And if he's got better protection, then the production from that quarterback position should be better. And I think that's what they're banking on.
All right, let's hope that's the case, my brother. Anything else that we should know about Canes football that I have not asked you about in this segment?
No, man. I mean, I can't wait for the season to be over. You know, I mean, it feels like this has been one of the most miserable seasons. Just the negativity and people upset over things, man. Like, I can't. I'm kind of hoping they win tomorrow, just because, man. If they lose to Louisiana Tech, which by the way I think is going to happen. Louisiana Tech,
yes,
9-3 football team, lots of seniors, lots of juniors, very veteran team. If they lose the game tomorrow, or rather Thursday, I'm worried that it's just going to become so toxic. I mean, it's toxic now, but I'm going to want to shut off Twitter. Like, that's how bad things are going to be, where I don't even want to look at what people are saying, because I've had enough of it. I've had enough of it. And you know, I think Manny Diaz needs a victory in some way, shape, or form here. He needs some young players to look good tomorrow. He needs the quarterbacks to look better. They've got to come out and play a better football game. They can't continue to get worse.
No, they cannot. But see, here's the thing, and you know me, I do all my trips in the off season. Dude, Louisiana Tech's been sending people to bowl games. They usually have guys that get drafted. This is not a team that is, for anybody out there that a Canes fan thinks, oh, Louisiana Tech is just a jag. That's a team that, you know, they get their share of talent. So I would not be surprised if this becomes an extremely tough game for Miami, or they even lose, considering the guys that aren't playing in this game, because that's the other thing. How much are all these guys that have dropped out of this game, Manny, how much is that affecting it?
Yeah, that's going to be an issue. There's no doubt. I mean, look, the good thing for Miami is Amik Robertson, who's a first-team All-American cornerback for Louisiana Tech. He is not playing in this game. He's a junior. He's going to sit out. So they're going to be missing their best cover man. And then I think their best pass rusher also got hurt in the season finale. So there are going to be a couple of guys out for Louisiana Tech too. But as far as Miami's concerned, yeah, I mean, look, you're taking Michael Pinckney out. That's a huge hole. Michael Pinckney is your best cover linebacker. And now you're throwing a true freshman in there. Sam Brooks is, you know, obviously going to play a big role in the years to come. But again, this is going to be his first real action where he's going to be counted on. Is he going to be in the right spots? Is he going to cover the guys he's supposed to? That's going to be a big question. Defensive end, I mean, really, that's been the strength of his team. The ability to get in the backfield. Gregory Rousseau, you know, he's had John Garvin on the opposite end getting a lot of attention. Well, what's it going to be like now when everybody's looking at Greg Rousseau and he doesn't have somebody to help take some of the pressure off of him? And there is no Trevon Hill coming off the bench to create pressure as well. How is Miami's defense going to be affected in that way? And then Jeff Thomas is your best wide receiver threat in terms of at least commanding respect deep. You know, there's not a lot of these receivers on this team. Mark Pope maybe being the other one, who the other team says, wait a minute, we got to see where that guy is. Whenever the defense sets up, they got to know where number 4 is for Miami, because they know he's a deep threat and he can get behind the defense. So you take that out of the game now, and you say to yourself, okay, well, who does Miami turn to? Does Mark Pope know what routes to run? You know, is D. Wiggins going to run the right route? You know, who's going to be the go-to receiver in this game? A lot of questions coming into this. Now, Brevin Jordan is supposed to be back and playing in this game, so that's going to be a bonus for Miami. But, again, your backfield, no DJ Dallas. You saw what the running game has been like the last couple of games without DJ Dallas. And you're going to have Cam Harris and potentially maybe Lorenzo Lingard getting his first real action of the season. So, offensively, you know, between the questions, the quarterback, the issue of receiver, you know, the running back situation, you're not going into this game with a ton of confidence about where Miami is. There's a lot of guys that have a lot to prove, and, you know, this team has a lot to prove. So we'll see who shows up, and if Miami shows up with the right kind of attitude.
Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, before I let you go, you know, the Seattle game I was looking at, you know, they just signed Marshawn Lynch. Do you know who Marshawn's going to be sharing time with in that game?
Travis Homer.
That's right, baby. So maybe Travis gets an opportunity to shine this weekend. That'll be cool.
There you go. Sixth round pick.
I know.
You know, again, these guys, that's what I told you, these Hurricane guys, like, look, I could be Travis Homer. I could be a 6th round pick and playing in a big game for Seattle. They don't care about what position they get drafted anymore. They really don't.
Millennials, bro. They are a different breed, dude. Holy crap, they are different. Millennial and Generation Zs. Holy moly, these kids are weird. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his exceptional work at The Athletic. And, of course, it is our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. Go visit Brett and all the great people out there at 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Remember, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. So if you live too far, not a problem. Go online at Caneswear.com. Better yet, go over to 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Manny, Merry Christmas, my brother. Have a safe and fun one. We will catch up next week.
Absolutely. Oh, and by the way, P.S., congratulations to my boy Ernie. He won the fantasy football championship, one of your loyal Texans.
Wow.
I want to make sure he gets a shot. Yeah, he won for the first time. He's been in the league 15 years. This is his first championship.
Awesome.
There you go. Andy Behrens helped him out. How about that? That is awesome. That is awesome. Sorry that it was at your expense, my brother.
It's all good. It's all good. All right, man.
All right, baby. You be
care.
good.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas, man.
Un abrazo. There you go, baby.
Guys.
All right, Manny Navarro, man. Good stuff there as always. I love that. That's funny.